Keith, long before the Marshall WVU football rivalry was renewed, this one was really going, and it was a classic.
Yeah, it always is. And, you know, when people argue about moving that thing back to the campuses, everybody in Charleston says, why touch a good thing? It's going well for basketball fans. And would the 16th Annual Capital Classic live up to advanced billing? The powerful Mountaineers had won 12 in a row, coming off a win over UCLA. Meantime, Marshall 2 games under the 500 mark. We'll see how it all turned out. Sellout crowd in the house at the Charleston Civic Center. Early on, game tied at 2, and Trey Whitted setting up for the three-pointer, and he would come back to haunt West Virginia. 3 of his 11 points. Mountaineers grabbed the lead on this Kevin Pittsnoggle 3. 12-10 West Virginia. But Marshall's big man was Mark Patton. The senior was huge all night long. The steal, and he takes it coast to coast for the dunk. Marshall would never trail again. Kevin Pittsnoggle had guaranteed a win, and he tried his best. Inside, nice pass from Patrick Beeline. 20 points for the senior, but Marshall hitting their threes. Joe Miles with the 3, and West Virginia trailed it by 4 at halftime, 24-20. Mike Gansey, tough night shooting, but when he needs to hit one, he does. This one gets West Virginia within 2. Marshall with the shot clock winding down. Trey Whitted, this guy was unconscious. 40-36. Mountaineers clawing back now. Patrick Beeline to the hoop. It's 47-47. But the General would answer. 16 points, 10 rebounds, inside playing hard, gets the roll. The lead is 2. And then Trey Whitted would strike again. Clock winding down. You won't see him, but you'll see the ball. Wow, 52-47. Marshall hits free throws down the stretch. Beat a top 10 opponent for the first time in 34 years. Final 58-52. Here's post-game reaction afterwards.
Hey, it's unbelievable. I just got to thank God. I've been praying all week that we came out, played hard. We won this game. We played as a team. We played together, and we did what counted.
This is a big game. I live here in West Virginia, and I feel it like everybody else. And it's just, you know, I was excited to see our team play well.
I thought we worked our tail off in the second half. There's a lot of blood and bruises in there right now. In the first half, I'll have to watch the tape.
They're making tough shots. You know, we just couldn't get anything going offensively. And, I mean, Marshall just played a tremendous game today, and, you know, they deserve to win it.
And welcome back, my friends. In recent years, close games have been the norm when it comes to Marshall and West Virginia in the men's basketball showdown of the Capital Classic. The 2006 edition of the Classic featured a Mountaineer team on a 12-game winning streak and ranked 9th in the country. A Thundering Herd team trying to find its way at 7-9 and reeling, I should say, from some tough, close losses. And Kevin Pittsnoggle and the gang in action tonight against the Herd. And we check out Joe Hairbear driving to the hoop and scoring. Then Trey Whitted, this guy came to play tonight, draining from the outside and scoring. Marshall hanging right with West Virginia in that first half. Kevin Pittsnoggle backing in. He would have 20 tonight, his final game at the Civic Center Coliseum. Likewise for Patty B, Patrick Beeline knocks down the three-pointer. Second half now, Mark Patton and company going to work. The former Cabell Midland star and West Virginia Player of the Year. 16 points, 10 rebounds. Here's Whitted. He had 11 tonight, and then they make 6 free throws down the stretch. Chris Ross at the line for the Herd. And guess what? Second straight year, and it is Marshall winning the Capital Classic over West Virginia. Final score of 58-52. Our Josh Lewis at the 4 C's tonight, and he caught up with those who were a part of this game tonight. Josh?
Yeah, Mark, just like last year, nobody gave Marshall a chance to win this game except for, well, Marshall. About the only people thought they could win it, and they do. A monumental win for Ron Jerse's team.
We need to play a good game no matter who we're playing. We need to play, you know, with poise, and there's no need for any extra excitement. Just try to focus on playing better than we did the time before.
That's what we knew one of their weaknesses was you know, defensive rebounding. So we tried to step up and, you know, crash the boards and get some easy buckets.
Man, it's just a big win for me. We played hard for Mark Patton. Mark Patton, that was his last game, and we want him to go out a winner. So we all played hard for Mark.
Man, it's an indescribable feeling right now. I played in a lot of big games in high school and stuff, but the feeling is nowhere near, man. It's unbelievable. The way they rush the floor, I'm still excited right now. Adrenaline's still just rushing through me. I can't barely stay still.
Basketball game, made tough shots when they had to make them, and we had trouble making some shots. So credit their defense. We're not going to lean on any crutches or anything like that. They played a great basketball game, and they beat us.
They hit some good tough shots, and we couldn't make shots, so that's pretty much how it ended. We had some mistakes, and they countered on them. Good win for them.
It seemed like every shot they were getting kind of lucky shots, but, that's credit to our bad defense. They were making tough shots. We just couldn't get anything going offensively. And, I mean, Marshall just played a tremendous game today, and, they deserve to win it.
Well, just like last year, a very tough loss for John Beilein's team, but maybe they can make just like last year and make another run in the NCAA tournament. Mark?
Fingernails have been chewed to the bone at the Charleston Civic Center. Sean McDowell with a live edition of the Sports Zone this evening. The 2006 Toyota Capital Classic over and done. It's in the books for West Virginia and Marshall. And every year we're assured of a close game, if nothing else. Since this game moved to Charleston rather than on campus sites, that was 15 years ago. Since then, the average margin of victory for one school or the other, the herd of the Mountaineers, has been just under 7 points. Mountaineers and Herd, West Virginia, number 9 in the nation, riding a 12-game winning streak. Marshall, they just need a victory over anybody. The Herd has lost 2 straight. Opening moments. Here's LeVar Carter, the guy out of Louisville, with the little putback in the paint. Marshall jumps up and takes an early lead by a deuce, 7-5. WVU will not back down. Kevin Pittsnoggle, 6'10", and hard to stop when he's shooting those threes. The Mountaineers lead at 12-10, but the Herd faithful finds a run of sorts. Here is Mark Patton, out of Cabell Midland High School in Barbersville West V. 2 men on him, and he scores anyway, and the Herd takes a 3-point lead. And John Beilein says, guys, we have got to stop this team. Otherwise, they'll go on a run to close the half. Travis Akins, easy points in the paint. Gang Green has a lead at the half by 4, 24-20. Second half at the Civic Center. WVU goes give and go. Mike Gansey averaging 20 per game. He's held to 10 tonight. Ron Jersa sees his lead slip away to 2, but the Herd is hanging in there. More pace. Here is Joe Hairbear down low to Pittsnoggle. He has 20 in this game. West Virginia hanging close. Marshall staying alive by doing the little things. Patton, 16 points, 10 rebounds. With 2 minutes to go, the Herd still has a lead. Until this. This is Patrick Beilein driving, and we are tied at 47 all. 45 seconds to go. The Herd needs a hero. It is Trey Whitted. A huge three-pointer for the senior. Marshall won last year, a shocker by 4 points. This time around, it's a 6-point victory, 58-52. Marshall knocking off the Mountaineers in unthinkable fashion.
45 seconds to go. You let that 3 go. What's going through your mind?
Shoot it. Win the game.
Was there ever a doubt in your mind you could hit that shot?
Never a doubt. I've been doing it all week in practice. I play around all the time out there.
You guys were a 17-point underdog, and you pull off a 6-point win. Why did you believe in yourselves and nobody else did?
That's just our mentality. That's how we are. We believe we can play with anybody, and that's how we got to look forward to every game.
It's just a frustrating game overall. I didn't play well. There's something about Charleston. I never play well here, and it's just frustrating for me to come in this gym and play. And
Marshall just played a tremendous basketball game, made tough shots when they had to make them, and we had trouble making some shots. So credit their defense. We're not going to lean on any crutches or anything like that. They played a great basketball game.
College game day here in Norman. We'll be with you Saturday morning. Reese Davis along with Digger Phelps and Jay Billis, and certainly the upset bug has been biting over the past week. It started last Saturday when all 3 undefeateds went down, and Wisconsin went down at home to North Dakota State, and it didn't stop the rest of the week. This is a list of some of the notable upsets, and guys, as we run that old ball handling drill, a little 3-man weave. What was the most surprising upset you saw in this week, Digger?
Well, Seton Hall knocking off NC State on the road. That was a big shocker to me by 18 points. Whitley and Copeland combining for 39 points. But in the Big East, Seton Hall is 2-3 and are 11-6 on the season. That really stunned the ACC as far as power rating.
That was a shocker. Mine was a non-conference, 2 intersectional teams going at it, and it was Marshall beating West Virginia. Now, West Virginia, people are talking about them being the second best team in the Big East, and I think they may be, but losing to Marshall, that's a huge upset, shooting only 34%.